Getting home from work alive is generally an expectation that most of us have. But for some people in New Zealand, for some families, their loved one goes off to work in the morning and doesn't come home in the evening. And this is generally because of an accident or some failure in health and safety procedures that has meant that that person has been killed during their work. Health and safety is all about keeping yourself and others safe, and to a lesser extent gear and equipment and your workplace free from damage. All of these things can have a marked effect on your employment and your future. So it's important that we all work in a safe manner and in a safe environment. Don't be this guy. That's the guy in the pink shirt. If you see someone like this on a site that you're on, give them a stern talking to. Take them to the office. Make them sign in and make them follow the rules. The rules are there for everyone. Just because you are more or feel more important than everyone else doesn't mean the rules don't apply to you. The rules are there for everybody to follow closely so that we all get home safe at the end of the working day. We are all responsible for health and safety. It's an issue that we all need to work on. Now, the famous thinker, Einstein, he had a few things to say about this, as shown in this poster here. And I can assure you that the infinite nature of human stupidity is there to be observed on a daily basis. The construction site is a site where all manner of things can happen. It's important that it be organized, that we think about what we're doing, that the strategies that we use apply to everybody, that everyone knows what's going on, so that we can all get home at the end of the day alive and safe and undamaged. And our work site and tools and equipment also make it through as well. These are not insignificant factors that we need to pay attention to and think about at all times. Not just for a few minutes here and there or while we fill out the form, but all day. There's a famous sign that's shown on a lot of work sites that says, "The standard you walk past is the standard you accept." If you see someone not acting in a safe manner, it's your responsibility to make sure that they do, to report them and to sort it out so that everybody is safe. This sign here, from a very succinct sign: no hat, no boots, no vest, no job. If you don't want to follow the rules, you will find yourself without a job. Follow the rules, keep yourself safe and everybody else safe, and wear the appropriate PPE at all times in the manner that is you are supposed to, and you will maintain your job. If you don't, consequences are that you could have no job for a number of reasons. Perhaps your job might blow up because of it's unsafe or something like that, but it's important that you follow the rules and have a health and safety consciousness about yourself. Now, hazards, identifying hazards is the crux of health and safety, and hazards come in many shapes and forms. They can come from be activity based, situation based. Occurrence, because you're working away and travelling big hours and long distances, can cause tiredness and fatigue. By the actual arrangement, by the height of a building, working at height has its risks associated with it and particular hazards. Lightning strikes and thunderstorms and things like that, we need to be aware of what to do in these situations. Circumstance can put us in hazards, particularly in a busy highway, or using a laser can be related to the process that we're doing. We must identify these hazards and take care to ensure that we can control them. So the first thing to do is to identify the hazard, and then having identified the hazard, we can go through this little flowchart thing here. Now, if the first thing we should look to do is, can we eliminate the hazards? So if we say, for instance, we're looking at overhead power lines, can we eliminate those hazards? No, we can't. Can we isolate the hazard? Well, that's a possibility. We may be able to not work under the power lines. But if, say, for instance, in a survey situation, we do have to work under the power lines, we can't isolate it. But can we minimise it? Well, yes, we can in the case of power lines, and particularly down at Greaton Park, where we're perhaps going to have a look. Now, surveyors sometimes use a 5-metre high levelling staff, which could easily, being aluminium, come in contact with overhead wires and cause electrocution. How can we minimise that? Well, one of the things that we can do is actually remove the leaves of the staff telescopes, so we can just ensure that we only use a staff that's 2 meters tall, thereby minimizing the hazard, and that is our control. We are controlling it by minimization. If, however, we cannot eliminate, isolate or minimize a hazard, you must stop work until a solution is identified. And this may require consultation with people who perhaps have more knowledge of the situation than you do. But do not continue to work in a situation where you have identified a hazard and you can neither eliminate, isolate or minimize it, and you're continuing to work. Because legally the implications could fall on you, and if someone were to be killed, you could be in serious trouble with the law.